Hey everybody, Mikkel here from Real Life Renovations. We're here at the site where we're going to be having our first workshop this year. As you've seen on the Facebook page, it's about mudroom addition we're going to be adding on. So we're going to be doing everything from the floor framing to the finish work. The only part that we're not going to be doing is the concrete foundation. So what I'm doing today is setting out some levels for the concrete guy so that he knows where to finish the top of his wall to. And I just wanted to show you how we go about that. So it's the only part that we're not covering in the workshop. So I thought if I give you a bit of a rundown, if you're doing something like this at home, you have a bit of a better idea on what to do. So we have to start we have to work out where our top of our tile floor, because the mudroom is going to be tile, is going to finish in relation to the existing floor. And we want to have the tile finish with the top of the floor inside the house, which is a wooden floor. So what I've done is on this board here, which I'll show you, I've done a little calculation on all the various layers that are going beneath the tile, so that then we can establish a height of how far below our floor level we need to be, our wooden floor. And then we're going to use my laser level to actually get a level line of the wooden floor, and then I can simply measure down that distance to where the top of the concrete is going to go, and then I can actually screw something on the wall, and that will give our concrete guy a height to go to pour his concrete wall. So let me show you this drawing first. So this is something you can do yourself at home. Hopefully you can read all of this. Go. So, camera movement here. Let me just turn this around. So you can see from my drawing that I have a height which is the wood floor, and then next to that I have drawn a series of lines which represent like the tile floor, which is a 1/4 inch thick, the tile adhesive, which is an 1/8 of an inch thick, the substrate 1/4 inch thick, which will be something like a Durock or a Hardy backer, and then we have our subfloor plywood, which will be 3/4 of an inch thick. Then we have our floor joist, which is 5.5. We're going to use 2x6, but we're going to notch it 1/2 inch over the sill plate. So in effect, the height we have instead of 5.5 is 5 inches. And then we have our sill plate, which is 1.5 inches thick, or the pressure treated usually ends up being 1 5/8. And then we have some sill seal, which will go in between the plate and the concrete. And then we have the top of our concrete wall. So what we want to do is add all of those up to give us the height between the wood floor and the top of our concrete wall. And if you look on the left there, I actually made an attempt at some long addition. We got 5 for the height of our joist minus the notch, the 1.5 for the plate, then we have a 3/4 for our subfloor, 1/4 for our substrate for tiling, 1/8 of an inch for the adhesive, and 1/4 inch for the thickness of the tile. Now all of that adds up to 7 7/8. Okay, so what we have as a margin, so we measure from the top of our floor, our wood floor, 7 7/8 down, and that gives us our concrete wall height. Okay, now it's important too to have some kind of tolerance in there, and we'll probably have the tolerance in the notch. So once the concrete is poured, we'll establish the final height, which should be 7 7/8, but it may be out slightly, and if it is, we can adjust our notch accordingly, so we end up with our tile finishing flush with the wooden floor. So let me set this back up, and I'll turn the laser on, and we'll get that going. One notch there, one there. Oh, little last pile of snow here, I'm using to stabilize the camera. And turn that back down. Alright, so turn the laser on. Now you guys, you probably can't see the red line that the laser is on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it this way. If you squint your eyes, you might be able to see a red horizontal line that extends both ways. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my tape measure on top of the wooden floor, see how high it is up to that red line. From memory it's around about 25 inches. And I'm going to mark this red line out here, measure down my 25 inches, or whatever that is, to the top of the wooden floor, and then go down my 7 7/8, and that is going to give me my concrete height. So let's try that. And to remember what you can see. So if I put my tape measure here, and you can't see this, but what I have to the top of the floor here is 25 5/16. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and measure my 25 5/16 down and mark that on the wall at this point here, which is the out. This is going to be the outside, so 25 1/4, 25 5/16. Okay, so the mark that I've put on there now is the top of the wooden floor. So what I need to do now is go down my 7 7/8. 7/8. And so what I have now is I put a, or I'll bring the camera up and show you. Let's see my pencil lines on there. Not sure how clear that is, so in fact it's not clear at all. You're going to have to trust me on this one. Okay, so put a mark here. So you can see the bottom of this piece of wood here is 25 5/16 down below my laser level line. I measure down another 7 7/8, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this board on here so that when he sets his formwork height, he has a height that he can go to. And once I do that, I basically do the same thing on the other side, so that the wall is level from one side to the other, so that when we build our floor, we have a level floor. We build our walls, the top of our walls are level as well. So that's pretty much how we establish our concrete height. So once again, the workshop is from March 24th to 28th. If you know anybody who wants to do it, or if you want to do it yourself, just go to realliferenovations.com. You can inquire, you can call me, email me, and I can tell you a little bit more about the workshop. But that's the plan. So this is going to be exactly like you would do an addition on your own home. So this is a small version. We'll get probably 80% of the whole thing done, and you'll be able to see all the steps from building the floor to finishing the roof to doing the drywall on the inside, on how to do that. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye.